Welcome to the Storytime Adventures for Adults video series. Today we will be reading Part 1, Chapter 1983, page 42 to 46 of Songs from the Depths by Meg Swanson. Brin barreled into the house, startling Patrick. She wrapped herself around him like a vice. "Please don't make me go again. Please, I'll be fine. But I can't go anymore. I can't leave you ever again. Please." Patrick scooped her up and with a terrified look at Rill, carried Brin into their bedroom. He lay with her while she hummed and rocked against his chest. Patrick ran a calloused hand over the knots and tangles in his wife's hair and promised that he wouldn't leave her, no matter what, he reassured Brin. Once Brin had fallen into a restless sleep, Patrick rose slowly from the bed and steeled himself to face the wrath of Rill. "Patrick, we have to get her into the water," Rill stated as soon as he closed the bedroom door behind her. "No, she's terrified enough as it is. I won't send her somewhere where she is alone." "She won't be alone. I will be with her." "She doesn't know what she is." "She will learn. You don't get it. She's been eaten alive by that song. This might be her only hope." "Song? You mean the humming?" "It's a soothing technique. Kids do it all the time." Even as he said the words, he knew how out of control he sounded. Rill rubbed the bridge of her nose. "It's a siren song." "A siren? Here? No, I'm sorry. Brin obviously fell on that walk and hit her head. I can keep her safe here while she heals." Rill inhaled deeply and thrust a feather at him. "Patrick, we both love Brin, but I need you to hear me. A siren has taken her memory." "You expect me to believe that a siren picked my wife at random, stole her memory, and a siren song is slowly driving her insane? No, I'm sorry. Sirens kill people. That's why we stay away from that part of the ocean. Only sailors with a death wish go out there." "Not this siren. She hasn't been with her sisters for centuries." "It doesn't matter. What you're saying doesn't matter. Brin stays here, with me, where she should have stayed all along." Rill sank onto the sofa and put her head into her hands. Now was not the time for that fight. She chose a different tactic. "How long have you known that her memory was gone?" Patrick gripped the back of a chair. "Too long. For that, I'm sorry, but I just wanted her to stay with me. When she's with you, I'm always so afraid that she will decide to stay in the sea. It is her choice always. But I know that one day she won't choose me anymore." Rill nodded. "That is the risk in loving us. You are better than most, though. You gave her the choice. You gave her what she needed, always. Yet when it counted, when it really mattered, you kept her away, stole her from us. You were no better than the rest of them." "Kept her?" He was doing exactly what the book said he would do, and he had let Brin down. He had kept her. Patrick sat down beside Rill and put a hand on her shoulder. "I'll get her ready. We'll be on the water tomorrow." Rill looked at Patrick. "Thank you. I don't know if I can help her, but I need to try. She can't live like this anymore." Banished to the sea, cursed to live apart. Two beings, one heart. Patrick placed the folded fur on the bench of the rowboat, while Brin stood like stone on the shore. He straightened and looked out to where the Selkie sat waiting. He walked over to where Brin stood rigidly and picked her up. She started to wail and scream at him about how he promised her they wouldn't be apart, how she would never trust him again. It tore his soul apart. He set her down in the boat, harder than he meant to, and sat facing her. "Listen, this is your last chance. You need this. Your family out there needs this. They need you. And you need them too. I'm sorry it has to be this way." Brin crossed her arms tightly across her body and started humming and rocking. Patrick shoved the boat away from the dock with an oar and began to row. He watched as Brin started to quiet, and then she let her arms fall, trailing her fingers through the salty water. She started to remind him of the Brin with whom he had fallen in love. They rowed in silence together, and for the first time in over a month, they were both completely relaxed in each other's company. As they neared the island, Patrick saw Rill slide into the water. He pulled the oars into the boat and picked up Brin's fur. "You need to put this on. It's getting chilly out here." Brin took the fur and pet it slowly. She raised her eyes to Patrick and nodded. The fur parted easily and slid over her shoulders as though she had never taken it off. As Rill reached the boat and barked quietly, Patrick reached over and pulled the hood up over Brin's face. He smiled sadly as she flipped herself off the boat and into the water. For the first time in their marriage, she didn't wave to him before diving under the water. Rill nodded her thanks and dove under to catch up with her daughter. The buds on the trees, misty green, the air warming while the sea stays cool. The Selkies have not appeared. Still, he waits. That spring, as he always did, Patrick rowed out to the island and waited. This was Part 1, Chapter 1983, pages 42 to 46 from Songs from the Desk by Meg Swanson. On May 6th, we will continue reading from Part 1. If you can't wait until then to hear how the story goes, feel free to purchase the book at www.megswanson.me. Next week, we read Humanity's Evolution, Part 19. To learn more about this video series and the Humanity's Evolution videos, feel free to visit my website at www.reneeannhughes.com. If you would like to contribute to these series, please feel free to become a patron on Patreon. Details for joining are on my website, and also please subscribe to this YouTube channel so you won't miss any new videos. Goodbye, and thanks for listening.